I'm trying to check off 2 ponds in one evening. I've got 4 hours to fish. My plan is to spend 2 hours at each location. We're about 2 minutes away from the first spot. It only looked like about a 50-yard haul through some fairly light woods. And I'm gonna be doing a few things differently today. Once I get on the water, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Kind of in a neighborhood, and right over there is the pond that I wanna fish. There's a little bit of public land, a tiny little strip coming up right here. And it almost looks like there's a road. No way. We can drive right up to the lake. Well, this is gonna be easy. This is gonna help save a little bit of time. This is slick. You could almost get a boat into this one. Oh yeah. Spot to park, even has a trash can. This is it. This is the whole lake right here. We're gonna get the kayak unloaded. We're gonna get on the water. Let's find some fish. Yeah. Oh man, the heat is absolutely cranking today in Minnesota. The wind has been gusty. Right now it's not too windy, but earlier this afternoon it was howling pretty good. Weather's supposed to be brewing some pretty nasty storms this evening. Less than ideal conditions for the kayak, but a small pond like this, it shouldn't really matter. So, like I said, I'm doing a couple things differently today, and you guys have been begging and pleading for live bait. So that's right. I have a second pole. I dug this thing out of the basement. I don't know what that means or where this came from. Probably only used it once. I've got a single bare hook rigged up. We're gonna try and catch some panfish before switching over to the bigger species. I hope I don't regret it, but I'm gonna leave the net behind because normally I put the net in the second rod holder, but today I'm putting a second rod in the second rod holder. There we go. It actually looks like I fish. So let's get on the water. That looked like a fish. Oh my goodness, look at all those minnows hanging out down there in the shallows. I can see bluegills. Boy, I didn't even need to bring a second pole. I'm not even on the water. Look at all those fish. Yeah, those are little baby sunfish, bluegills of some sort. Clear water. Definitely some fish in here. We're on the lake. There's a bigger one, but I guess for it to really count, we have to catch them. Okay, this is the flimsiest pole I've ever seen. Like I said, I don't know where I got this pole from, but for today I think it'll work. I'm just gonna add a split shot. There's a lot of houses on this pond. This would be a sweet little pond, especially if it gets deep. Get a little chunk of crawler. Well, that's all we're doing. I get a hunch this is gonna work pretty quickly. Yeah, I do not like this pole. It's so flimsy, look at that. Oh, there's a fish. That's a decent one. Oh my goodness, a bass. Oh, and he swallowed it too. Wow, I could not feel the bite for the longest time. Just felt like I was dragging on the bottom. Good thing we brought pliers today. There we go. Nice looking bass. See you later, buddy. Well, first cast, first fish. Definitely need to upgrade this pole. See if we can find a bluegill. I'm gonna keep using that chunk of crawler until I find a bluegill. Wow, I really thought I was gonna catch a bluegill almost like instantly, but I haven't even gotten another bite. Oh, there's a fish. Wow, this pole is flimsy. That's something. There's our bluegill. There's a nice one. Species number 2. Could not feel him bite. Nice looking bluegill. We'll let him go. Still got the worm. It's been 5 minutes. I am getting into the fish pretty quickly here. See if I can catch one more, and then maybe I'll switch over to a bigger spinnerbait. There we go. Wow, look at this pole bend. It's so flimsy. Another bluegill, decent one too for a tiny pond like this. He inhaled that. These fish are aggressive today, probably because of storms rolling through. Nice looking fish. I have had enough of this pole. 3 fish, it's probably 10 minutes. We're gonna put that away. We're gonna break out some bigger lures. Pull out a couple different spinner baits. I know a beetle spin will work well on this lake. I wonder if there's pike in here. If we catch a pike, that would be insane. Gotta remember to check how deep it is. I think I'll start out with the beetle spin. Get some bigger bass. Pike will go for this as well. Oh yeah, so much better to be casting a normal pole. There was a fish. Something thumped it. That was the second cast. Kind of felt like a bluegill or a little bass. Oh man, that was another nice bite. Boy, the bluegill are just nipping at this beetle spin. Makes me think that there aren't any pike in here with how thick the panfish are. But I know there's bass in here. I'm surprised I haven't picked up another bass yet. I'm just gonna keep on working around this perimeter, fishing docks, fishing these weeds, lily pads. Man, another bite from a bluegill, I think. This is insane. Man, another bite. Okay, I'm gonna switch to something a little bit bigger. Do we want the willow blade, or do we want the single blade that's shiny? We'll go with this one. Bright sunny day, get a little flash going down there. About a third of the way, this thing is just like a giant circle. Boy, a pike should just be eating this thing up right now, sitting in these shallows, if they exist. There we go. There's a bass. Nice looking fish. Oh yeah, right on that spinnerbait. Not huge. Get him unhooked back in the water before we crash. Maybe. Come on, there we go. Nice quick release. Just in time to paddle out of here. All right, 2 bass, 2 bluegills. About halfway across, that's where we launched over there. So we'll take it. Been about 40 minutes on this lake. Ooh, something swirled up in shallow right over there. Yep, right there. Got him. That was cool. Wow, this is a fun little pond. This one feels a little bit better. Not huge. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger. Oh. It's the biggest one in the pond so far. Nice little largie. We'll take it. I saw him swirling up in shallow right there. These fish are aggressive. The storm that's coming in. Oh, there was another swirl right over there. Let's see if we can get back-to-back bites up in shallow. Right over there, right there, yep. Come on. Ah, that one's not biting. Dang. Oh, there's a bass right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. That was cool. We are almost around the entire lake. That's where the truck is. But instead of paddling towards the truck, I'm gonna paddle out into the middle of the lake. We're gonna deploy the depth finder. And I'm gonna find out just how deep this thing is. I know I said I was done with this, but I'm gonna throw on another chunk of night crawler onto this plain hook and see if we could catch a crappie or a perch or some other species out here. Pretty soft bottom, so it's not picking up the bottom too well. Why is that smoking? I don't know if that's normal. That is really strange. Anyone ever had their transducer start smoking? It's not really working too well. Okay, it says it's about 10 feet deep down there. It's going all over the place. It says 4.5 feet, 10 feet. This thing is being screwy. I think that's the bottom right there. But it's saying the bottom's down here. Keeps kind of bouncing around. It's not getting a good signal. Maybe out in the middle where there's a harder bottom. I guess there's some lily pads right here. I should be throwing a bigger bait. 6.5 feet. Right out in the middle. I don't know if this thing gets too deep. And there's some weeds over there. Still saying about 7 feet. There's got to be some fish hanging out. There's a fish. Oh! That was a nice one. Gonna go back with the beetle spin. That was probably a small bass. There it is. Oh, it got off. Dang, pulled the pants down. There we go. What is that? That feels like another bass. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we'll take that. There we go, right on the beetle spin. So far nothing huge in this lake. All right, we'll keep on moving on. See if we can find some deeper water. Well, first I'll drop a jig and a crawler down, see if there's any panfish hanging out. Oh my goodness, this stupid pole. Gosh, oh, it's getting hit right there. Just trying to let the drag out, and there were panfish coming up to crush it. Wow, that was cool. Oh my goodness. But I caught a fish on that cast. Another bluegill. All right, we're gonna paddle around, see if we can find some deeper water. See if this thing is still smoking. Yep, that is strange. 5 feet, just paddling all over the middle, and it is not deep at all. There's gotta be a crappie in here. Ooh, there's a fish. What do we got? Another bluegill. Well, they are thick in here for sure. I'm gonna give it about 5 more minutes, and then we're gonna head over to the next pond. There we go. What is that? That one feels a little bigger. Another bluegill. That one's almost a keeper size. Oh no, he inhaled that hook. That hook is unfortunately gone. Oh, it wasn't even stuck in him. That came out so easy. That is a nice bluegill for a pond like this. 5 feet deep, side of the road. 4.5 feet of water. All right, let's see if we can catch one more. They're just jumping in the boat. I'd take one more of that size. That wind just died down real quick for a second there. The calm before the storm. Clouds don't look too ominous yet. Oh, come on, we gotta get one more. I think I saw a swirl right there where that landed. What the heck? Okay, maybe I'll try casting my spinner along that shoreline. See if we can end on a fish. I gotta end on a fish. There's so many fish in this lake. I'll keep that worm tied on just in case we have to throw that. There are some bluegills hanging out right under this tree. I'm gonna make a cast. Hopefully catch a fish on this cast. I could see him. This flimsy pole, we'll see if we can make a good cast. Catch a fish, hopefully, and head to the next pond. We'll see if they bite. They're not even looking at it. These fish just like shut off like a light switch. I know there's fish around. What the heck? There we go. Finally, stay on. This is our ticket to the next pond. Got him. It's a nice one to end on. You also decided to swallow the hook. Easy out though with those pliers. Nice size bluegill. See you later, buddy. Just in time for the sandhill cranes to come in. Alright, pond number 2 is about 5 minutes away after we paddle off here. I think I'm just gonna leave most of my stuff in the kayak. I don't have to drive on any busy roads. Spent just about an hour and a half fishing out there. We got, I don't know, 4 or 5 little bass and then a handful of bluegills. I was surprised to only find that pond was 5, 6, 7 feet deep. There were weeds in the middle. Definitely a fun little spot to take the kayak for an evening, get out, get on some fish. They were hungry, they were aggressive. We've got another 2 hours to fish tonight, so I'm heading over to pond number 2. We're gonna see if we can check off another one on this list. I don't have to go too far. I didn't even bother strapping the kayak down back there. So hopefully everything stays put. Right back there's the lake. I don't think there's an official public launch, but there's enough space to park a truck right here off of this road. And that's the pond. Some geese out there. Bunch of houses. This one looked shallower on satellite imagery, so we're gonna go check it out, see if we can't get into some more fish. But it looks like there might be some deep spots out in the middle. Let's go. I'm excited. Question is, where would a person get on? Maybe right through there. Looks pretty thick right in there. Or right there, that might be pretty easy. Maybe we'll just go for it right up in here. Right there. Final answer. Alright, where did I say I was gonna get on? I think it was right in here. Just gonna kind of use the skateboard method through here. Alright, I think we're floating. I'm just gonna hop in and paddle through this. That'll work. This one's a bit bigger. But it looks shallow. Hoping it'll at least hold some bluegills. Maybe it'll have some bass like that last one did. One method when there's a bunch of houses on a lake like this is you can look to see if any of the boats have fishing poles in them. It's usually a good telltale sign if there's fish in here. Oh man, I hope this lake has bass. And I hope these storms hold off, because this could get interesting. I'm gonna do the same method I did in the last lake. Challenge myself to catch a small fish, a panfish of some sort, before I throw any big lures. We're gonna work our way up the food chain, because you guys wanna see live bait, and it'll make good content. And I wanna make good videos for you guys. So we're gonna start casting right in here. I can already tell this lake's going to be a bit tougher because I'm getting algae on my hook and sinker, which is never fun. Slimy, crummy stuff. And I haven't seen a single swirl of a bluegill yet. And in the shallow water, this is where they should be hanging out. This lake is way too big not to hold a fish. Oh, there's a turtle, that's cool. Alright, I've had just about enough of the hook and crawler combo. It's been about 20 minutes, haven't seen a sign of any fish. I know I said we were going to try and catch a small fish first, but these lily pads are way too enticing, and I'm starting to get a hunch that this lake doesn't hold any fish. I have not seen anything besides a turtle swimming in these waters. We're putting that pole away, grabbing this one with the leader. We're gonna see if we can find a bass or a pike hanging out in here. Oh, that was a fish. That had to be a fish right in front here. Oh, that was something small, but that was a fish. Now do I go back to the jig and a worm? I think I have to. Dang, but good. I knew that was going to happen. As soon as I started throwing big lures, I was going to see something small. There's so many weeds down here. It's so thick. They're almost up to the surface. I don't even know how to fish this. I'll just have that pole ready. Jeez. That scared the crap out of me. I think we've officially just about lost our sun for the evening. There's the line of storms coming in, and that's going to be our time limit. Oh, come on, fish. There's got to be something hanging out in here. Bass, a pike, anything. Oh, I saw something swirl over there. I think I need to go check it out. Had to have been a fish. Almost certain that that was a fish swirl right here. That looked like one right there. Whatever they are, they must be really small. Oh my goodness. Might be wondering why I'm not sticking the depth finder down here, and that is because everywhere I go, I can see weeds. They're about a foot under the surface. And I'm out in the middle of the lake. I don't know if it's gonna rain on us or not. The clouds look kind of dark, but I can see through the other side. I don't know. Haven't heard any thunder yet, so that's good. We'll keep fishing. I think that's a big turtle up there. Yep, he just went down. Pretty solid bottom. That's kind of impressive. It's about 3 feet deep right here, and it's probably been about 3 feet deep all over. Starting to think this one's just a glorified duck slough. These lily pads really make it look enticing. I don't know how much longer we'll give it. Lots of turtles. I'm thinking all the swirls I've been seeing have just been turtles. We'll go around this island and then we'll call it a day. But of course, we'll throw a frog first. Ooh, that sun is bright. Got thunder rolling in the distance. Normally on a lake that would have fish, when I'm paddling through the shallows like this, there should be little swirls or flashes of the bluegills, and I haven't seen any of that. So we've almost gone around this whole thing. My truck is right back over there. Just gonna make a couple more casts, and then we're gonna call it a day. Storms are brewing. All right, I've seen enough. We're heading off. I didn't really know what to expect coming out here. One of the lakes was a gem, had some fish. The other one, thinking it didn't have anything. But maybe there's some fish in here. Definitely going to keep implementing that second rod. At some point, I'd like to upgrade it because my goodness, was it flimsy. The line was flimsy, but it got me on some more fish. So I'll take any more suggestions you guys might have in the comments of how I can make this a better series. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see ya in the next one.